the Lakers doing? What are they doing? This is supposed to be the cornerstone franchise in the NBA. Supposedly, this is the team that makes legends, cements legacies. This is supposed to be the franchise that competes for championships every year. The team that every free agent in the league wants to play for. And you are seriously considering Bronny James? Bronny James? Also, his doofus father, Bron, will continue to destroy your future over the next couple of years? Really? I could somewhat understand it if LeBron James was in the prime of his career. I could somewhat understand it if you had a chance to win another championship with Bron and Anthony Davis. Tony! But everyone knows that ain't happening. At this point in his career, I don't even know if LeBron James has championship aspirations anymore, because it seems like his only goal is to compete in the preseason with his son. So why would one of the most legendary franchises in sports allow themselves to become a laughingstock, a mockery, just to please a 40-year-old player who pretends to be the Billy Goat in his years past his prime? Doesn't make sense to me, but what the hell do I know? If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Earlier this week, Lonely Men, they were bursting with excitement on social media. Well, KC, were they excited about men pretending to be ladies' night at Club Shay Shay, where bearded beauties get in half off? No, my inside sources are telling me that Jackie Mahomes, he's on strike right now. He is refusing to perform until specific demands are met. Currently, Shay Shay, he supplies the dancing queen with the standard size cucumber. My sources, they are telling me that Jackie, he is demanding the supersized cucumber. Jackie is outright refusing to perform until those demands are met, which is why Shay Shay has reduced the entry fee to his den of iniquity by 50%. But the reason Lonely Men were excited earlier this week, video footage, it was released of Bronny James at the NBA Combine. The footage quickly gained millions of views on social media. People were claiming that this video, it was proof that Bronny James was a legitimate NBA prospect. Try to contain your excitement as you watch for yourself. Did you see that? This kid is amazing! I've never seen a dunk like that before! Obviously, the people amazed by this simple dunk, they are big fans of the WNBA. This was amazing to them because they've never seen a dunk before. In the WNBA, layups are called dunks. Floaters in the paint, dunks. So it's understandable why fans of dunk diving were impressed by this routine dunk from Bronny James. But those of us who watch real basketball, this was rather ordinary. The week started off rough for the spawn of Bron. As soon as he got to the combine, the poor kid, he was busted in, I guess you could call it a lie for lack of a better term. When he was barely playing at USC, Bronny James, he was listed at 6'4", decent size for a potential NBA guard. When he was measured at the combine, they quickly discovered that Bronny James was actually 6'1". Maybe there's a logical explanation for this. Maybe he had a defective measuring tape, or maybe Bronny James shrunk 3 inches in the last 3 months. Perhaps he was just confused. Maybe he thought the 73 on the measuring tape meant that he was 7'3", and he deducted a foot knowing that no one would ever believe it. Either way, the explanation doesn't matter. Bronny James entered the NBA Combine as an undersized guard. But let's start with the good news. Let's start with the positivity. Good news is Bronny James was impressive during his interviews. He was described as articulate, professional, intelligent, all-around good kid. Now, this does not surprise me in the least because Bronny James was raised well. Say what you want about LeBron James, but the one thing you can never take away from him, dude is a great father. So it doesn't surprise me that his kids are well-mannered, well-rounded, and respected. The problem is, good manners and adequate home training, that doesn't win basketball games in the NBA. On the court, Bronny James was the ultimate disappointment. Going into the combine, everyone knew that Bronny James was a complete liability offensively. He struggled to score at the college level, where he was being guarded by players who will soon be working in the lumber department at Lowe's. Everyone knew he was going to struggle offensively, but supposedly his strength was his defense. His defense was expected to carry over to the NBA level. So how did Bronny perform at the combine? According to one NBA scout, when offensive players were guarded by Bronny James, they scored on every possession. Now, you got to remember, the vast majority of guys that he is competing with at the NBA Combine, they will never touch an NBA court. The only way most of these guys will touch the court in the NBA is if they're working as the floor scrubber. The dudes who run onto the court wiping the sweat off the floor so the real players don't slip and get a boodle bruise that keeps them out for an entire season. Yesterday, Marc Spears was on NBA Today on ESPN. He had spoken with several scouts asking them about Bronny James. Now, normally, ESPN serves as the propaganda wing for LeBron James' media empire. They're basically his PR team with guys like Shannon Sharpe. Hey, it's me, Shay Shay! Guys like Shannon Sharpe falsely claiming that LeBron James is the greatest of all time. Billy Goat James! Yesterday, Marc Spears, he revealed how NBA scouts view the potential future of Bronny James. Watch for yourself.
We wouldn't draft him. Both of them said they would not draft him. Now, this is their take after watching him play. I still don't think he's ready, but he did some good things. He's on the smaller side, so he's going to have to be elite on defense. You can see he has good vision, makes right passes, takes good shots. He's probably going to need more time. If the Lakers don't draft him, I don't see anyone drafting him. Should be a point guard based on his size, but he can't run an offense. He's handicapped as an undersized shooting guard because he can't shoot. 0-4 on threes on one day, 1 for 3 the other day. His strength is supposed to be defensively, but he's a switch matchup. Every bigger player who switched on him scored. He's a poor man's Davion Mitchell. He is not an NBA prospect, in my opinion. Not my words, words of 2 veteran NBA scouts.
Look, you have to commend his professionalism because when they asked him the questions, he answered almost perfectly. Yeah. I saw him work out, and he was shooting the ball well. He had the 40-inch vertical.
First of all, who in the hell was that lady? What the hell was she talking about? This is my problem with ESPN's coverage of the NBA. Is it really that difficult to hire people who know what they're talking about? Bronny looked great in practice. When he wasn't guarded, he was nailing free throws. It was great! A lot of guys look great during shoot-around. Before Game 3 against the Thunder in New Orleans, I was watching Brandon Ingram at shoot-around. He couldn't miss. He was nailing threes from all over the floor. Soon as the game started, Brandon Ingram couldn't hit the Lizzo if he was throwing an elephant. The unknown analyst also said, Bronny is very professional. Yeah, I'm sure he is. I'm sure he conducts himself like a professional. Guess how many points professionalism scores at the NBA level? None. You heard it yourself from Marc Spears, who was quoting NBA scouts. Bronny James isn't ready. He may never be ready. Can't shoot. He's an undersized guard. He's a point guard who can't lead the offense. That is the equivalent of someone describing a quarterback in the NFL Combine by saying he can't pass. If he can't pass, he's completely useless. If Bronny James is a point guard and he can't run the offense, where is the value? The truth is, there is none. This is one of the weakest draft classes in the history of the NBA. Some are calling it the worst draft class in NBA history. This group of players is so bad, no one knows who the number one pick is going to be. If Bronny James is struggling competing with scrubs, how is he going to compete against the best basketball players in the world? This kid's not an NBA player, and that's not my opinion. That's the opinion of NBA scouts. According to Marc Spears, if the Lakers don't draft Bronny James, he's going to go undrafted, which is what should happen. He shouldn't be drafted. If this was any other player, if this was Chad Thundercock from Slippery Rock, we would not be having this conversation. Chad, he wouldn't be invited to the NBA Combine. Once the college season ended, he would return to modeling tuck-friendly bathing suits at Target. The only reason Bronny James was at the NBA Combine is because of his father. I think the Lakers are going to draft him. I don't know if they'll waste their first-round pick, but I could see the Lakers drafting Bronny James in the second round or signing him as an undrafted free agent. That would be their best option since the other 29 teams in the NBA have absolutely no interest in Bronny James. Why waste a draft pick when you can just sign him off the street? I really do feel bad for Bronny James because I feel like he's being set up for failure, embarrassing failure. I know it's his dream to play in the NBA, but a lot of people have dreams that never come to fruition. Some people dream of playing in the Super Bowl. Some people dream of becoming the next Howard Stern. Hell, some people dream of becoming YouTubers. Vast majority of dreamers never make it. Why? Because they don't have the talent. I know it sounds harsh. Bronny James doesn't have the talent. He's just not good enough to play in the NBA. But KC, this could be a good business decision for the Lakers. Bronny James will sell tickets. He will sell merchandise. How? First of all, the Lakers sell out every game anyway. The Lakers are the draw. But how is Bronny James going to sell tickets? How is he going to sell anything? Did he get his real estate license? Because that's the only thing Bronny James will be selling. He's not going to be selling shit in the NBA. NBA scouts describe Bronny James as a poor man's Davion Mitchell. How many of you guys have even heard of Davion Mitchell? You know how many jerseys he is selling? None. Know how many people in Sacramento are buying tickets to see Davion Mitchell play? None. If Bronny James is significantly worse than Davion Mitchell, how is he going to sell tickets? How is he going to sell jerseys when people won't even know his jersey number because it's hidden by the back of the chair while he's on the bench? This kid is being set up for failure, all because one of his father's dreams is to play in the NBA with his son. On one hand, I understand where LeBron James is coming from. As a father, you do everything you can to make your child's dreams come true. But at some point, you just got to deal with reality. And the reality is, Bronny James is not an NBA player. But give me your thoughts on this. Bronny James absolutely crushed by NBA scouts. This kid has no business in the NBA, but I think the Lakers are going to sign him. I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted him in the first round just to please LeBron. But do you think it's worth it? If you're running the Lakers, would you waste a pick on Bronny James just to please his past his prime father? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.